You sit there, staring at the half-finished project, the abandoned gym membership, the dusty business plan, all those things you swore you'd complete. The guilt creeps in, whispering, "Why can't you just follow through?" But here's the truth. Your failure to finish has nothing to do with laziness and everything to do with a lie you've been sold. The lie that motivation is the fuel for success. Think back to the first day, the rush of excitement, the vision of the future, the adrenaline of a new beginning. You mistook that feeling for power, as if it would carry you to the finish line. But motivation is a fickle friend. It arrives unannounced and leaves without warning. Relying on it is like building a house on sand. The moment the storm hits, the first obstacle, the first doubt, the foundation crumbles. Why? Because motivation is emotional, and emotions change. The writer who waits for inspiration will never finish the book. The entrepreneur who needs perfect energy will never launch. The artist who relies on mood will abandon the canvas. You were never meant to depend on something so unstable. The real culprit isn't you. It's the myth that starting requires a spark. Look at the people who consistently finish what they begin. Do they wake up every day electrified? No, they've learned the secret. Discipline is the antidote to motivation's betrayal. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't negotiate. It's the quiet voice that says, "Do it anyway." But discipline alone isn't enough. There's a deeper layer, the why behind your goal. When the why is weak, the how becomes impossible. You wanted to learn a language, but was it for Instagram applause or genuine connection? You started a business, but was it for freedom or just to escape a job? Superficial reasons dissolve under pressure. The goals that survive are rooted in something unshakable: identity. Ask yourself, who am I becoming by finishing this? Not what will I gain, but what will this make me? The person who finishes isn't luckier or more talented. They've simply tied their effort to who they are. A runner doesn't skip the marathon because they're tired. They run because they are a runner. The shift isn't in the action, it's in the self. This is where most fail. They see the goal as separate from themselves, a mountain to climb rather than a path to walk. But the untouchable finisher, the one who crosses the line no matter what, has merged the goal with their identity. The work isn't something they do, it's who they are. And that's the first truth. You don't finish because you've made the goal external. Bring it inward. There's an invisible force working against you. It's not procrastination or distraction. Those are just symptoms. The real enemy is resistance, the silent saboteur that thrives in the gap between starting and finishing. Resistance isn't loud, it's cunning. It disguises itself as logic. You're tired, try again tomorrow. It masquerades as wisdom. This isn't the right time. It even wears the mask of humility. Who are you to think you could do this? Resistance attacks when you're closest to breakthroughs. The middle is its favorite battleground, after the excitement fades, but before results appear. This is where dreams go to die. Why? Because the middle is a wasteland of doubt. No cheers, no quick wins, just the grind. And resistance whispers, is this even worth it? But here's what resistance doesn't want you to know. Its presence is proof you're on the right path. The bigger the dream, the fiercer the resistance. It's not a sign to quit. It's a signal you're threatening the status quo, both externally and within yourself. Every time you push forward, you're not just building a project, You're rebuilding you. Resistance thrives in isolation. It convinces you that no one struggles like you do, that others finish effortlessly. Lies. Every creator, every achiever battles the same force. The difference? They've learned to recognize resistance's voice and defy it. They don't wait for it to leave, they act despite it. How? First, name it. When you feel the drag, say aloud, "This is resistance." Second, shrink the task. Resistance wins when the next step feels overwhelming. Break it down until it's laughably small. Write one sentence. Do 5 push-ups. Tiny actions bypass resistance's defenses. Third, set a non-negotiable deadline. Resistance hates deadlines because they force decisions. Most importantly, stop romanticizing the struggle. Resistance feeds on drama. It wants you to believe finishing requires Herculean effort. But consistency isn't about heroics. It's about showing up daily, even when it's mundane. The untouchable finisher doesn't conquer resistance. They outlast it. You tell yourself you'll finish when it's ready. When the plan is flawless, the skills are mastered, the conditions are perfect. But perfectionism isn't pursuit of excellence. It's fear in disguise. Fear of judgment, fear of falling short, fear of proving once and for all that you're not enough. So you stall, revise, and tweak, all while the unfinished work gathers dust. Perfectionism is the ultimate illusion. It tricks you into believing that if you delay long enough, you'll avoid failure. But here's the truth. Unfinished work is failed work. An imperfect but completed project always outweighs a perfect but unrealized one. The world rewards finished things, not intentions. The antidote? Embrace the good enough threshold. Set a standard for completion that's high enough to matter, but low enough to be achievable. Done is better than perfect, because done teaches you what perfect never will. How to ship, how to adapt, how to improve in the real world. You expected progress to be a straight line. Start strong, build momentum, finish triumphantly. But real progress is a messy spiral. You'll loop back, hit plateaus, even regress. This isn't failure, it's the process. The untouchable finisher knows that valleys are part of the climb. Finishing isn't about one heroic effort, it's about daily recommitment. You'll wake up some days wanting to quit. That's normal. The difference between those who finish and those who don't. The finishers recommit anyway. They don't rely on passion, they rely on promise. The promise they made to themselves.